Hello and hooray! I'm sitting here with the people who feed Alice Cooper's Frankenstein.
Laying here.
Nita Strauss, Tommy Hendriksen, Ryan Roxie. There's only 3 of them, but they love the dead. So welcome, welcome, guys.
Yeah.
For the record, this is the first interview ever done in a hotel room bed.
By us.
Yeah, by us.
Because there's no room.
Yeah. As you can see, we're in the lap of luxury here in Atlantic City at the Borgata.
So we will dispel all rumors. We don't get suites. We don't get hotel
No.
suites.
No.
Or
No.
we would probably be doing it on a couch.
This
But
isn't a travel log.
No, but it is actually kind of nice.
And it's
anyway.
beautiful. We're playing here the next 2 nights.
We're not complaining about nothing.
it's definitely different.
Let me start off with Ryan. I know most of your story.
Nice.
Unfortunately, you relocated to New York City, Electric Angels, back to LA for solo releases with DPM and Slash and Gilby. How did you end up in Sweden?
Pretty much, Sweden has a few things that they export. One of their best exports is probably females. So I mean, and that's how I ended up. And then through years and years, I lived there, was married there, I split up there, but I remained there because I have 2 kids there, and we all live in close proximity in Stockholm. So I love the country, I love the kids growing up there, but I never closed the book on coming back to the States because honestly, when we tour the States, it always gives me, inspiration and hope to come back here.
USA.
Okay. Tommy,
Yeah.
or Jefferson born.
Yeah.
How did you end up in a German metal band, Warlock and Enduro? And how did you end up with the Coop? Now, one more thing. Last I heard, you were moving to Texas with Damon. And you end up getting married with a child living in Zurich, Switzerland? Is it a crazy little thing called love? Or
Yeah,
what?
that's exactly it. The only I wouldn't be living in Switzerland if it wasn't for a girl. You think I'd be hanging out in Switzerland? I'd be living in LA. I'd be hanging out, eating burritos, you know what I mean? Starbucks, it's
Doing
great.
interviews in
Eating
bed.
burritos, hanging out on the street.
No, but
man.
Switzerland's great. It's great for the kid, and my wife's just amazing. And as far as being in Doro, that was one of those things. I played in this band called Rough Cut back in 1982.
Paul Shortino's rough?
No, it's another one. We had a legal thing with those guys. But yeah, I am actually only 35, believe it or not, because everyone's always wondering how old I am. But I am 30, like mid-30s. So anyway,
What?
no, I'm kidding. That's a joke.
I believed it.
No, you did not.
I was like, Tommy's been saying he's older all these years. He's really just 35.
Yes, but anyway, I was playing this club band, and they needed a bass player, and this producer by the name Joey Ballin, and this guitar player Tommy Bolin, who was in the band at the time, kept on calling me. And I went down to the studio, I met Dora at the power station, and she said, "Toby, I want you in the band. I like your good vibes and energy." And
she still
The
talks
queen
that
of
way.
metal.
yeah, and it just so happened that I was like, all right, I'll do that, because I talked to my mother, and Mother's like, you should get out of here. You know what I mean? Look at all these people, around here to go see the world when you're a kid, and I did, and it was great. And then after 1989, when they broke up, Warlock, the manager Alex Grove.
Right, yeah. He was married to Dora, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a crook, that guy. And you don't have to edit that.
That's headline.
Exactly.
We're not editing anything.
That guy stole a lot of money from me, and a lot of other people too, probably. But anyway, and he lives in Zurich, and I will find him one day. I will run into him on the street one day, and it's gonna be like, yeah, that's right. Anyway, but and after that, we did the solo record, the Doro record. It was just one of those things where she was doing it with Gene Simmons, and I'll never forget
Right.
that call with Hein Witz.
I
I have a deal that is more than fair. And I was like, really?
I like even more than that. I like the story about the band you didn't get into because you refused to cut your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that band.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to tell all now?
No, Joan Jett. No, it was a good one. That was a good Joan Jett one too.
Really, Joan?
Yeah, yeah. When I was like, I think I was like maybe 17, 18. It's when she did that Light of Day movie. That
Give a shout out to my buddy AC who plays bass with Joan.
They wanted
Yeah,
me
we
to
know
cut my
AC.
hair. And You know, it's one of those things. You're a kid. You don't know this shit. I love Joan Jett. What am I, an idiot? I've made so many mistakes.
The haircut got you into Doro.
Yeah.
And then kept you out of Joan Jett.
Yes, exactly. And kept me out of Ozzy Osbourne and David Lee Roth.
And the hair was big.
It
It's
was.
like the guy that wouldn't cut his hair
It was
in the
big.
Beatles, that wouldn't get the Beatles
You know.
haircut.
Yeah.
Tommy still has the best hair in the
That's
band.
true.
All right, we're done with the boys.
Yeah.
We're on to the women.
There you go.
So we're
Nita,
gonna ask Brian some
now-
questions then? or-
I have known this guy since probably, well, I'm going to say it, since before you were born.
No, you're not. He's like, actually, Roxie's like early 30s.
And I'm 9.
So you came to us via Femme Fatale and the Iron Maidens.
Yes.
We should say hi to Lorraine Lewis, because she
Hi,
was the
Lorraine.
sweetest.
I love Lorraine Lewis.
How did you get into the Cooper Band, and tell me a little bit about your musical upbringing?
Well, I was recommended to the Alice Cooper Band by a former band member, former bass player for Alice. And it was a really kind of a quick process, quick and easy. I met Shep Gordon and Bob Ezrin in LA, and we clicked really well, and they sent me some songs to learn, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, you have 2 days of rehearsal, and you're going on tour. So luckily for me, these guys, we all clicked musically really well right at the beginning, and it was a very easy transition.
So now, were you intimidated when you first met Alice?
I was intimidated. I don't know if intimidated is the right word. I was excited. I was really, really excited. It was, he's so personable, Alice. And I met him when he was in the studio recording, and it was a total surprise. They said, Bob Ezrin called me up and said, can you come down to the studio right now? And I was like, on my way to the gym, just like in no makeup, ponytail. I was like, right now? He's like, well, as soon as you can. I was like, okay. So I just got in my car and drove down there, and he was recording vocals for the upcoming covers album, and it was so fast I didn't really have time to be intimidated.
So now you guys, were you intimidated when you first met Alice?
I was a roadie for Alice, so I couldn't have been intimidated. You know what I mean? I was actually a roadie for Ryan Roxie, Red Beach, and Paul Taylor. I was dragging his luggage around for
But you know what he said back then? He goes, one day I'm going to be in the Alice Cooper Band. And guess what? He was. And he was the one that put the good word in for me when we came back. So,
It's funny.
you know, it all comes full circle. The very first gig I ever played with Alice, the very first time on stage with Alice Cooper was in Cabo San Lucas. And that was the night that, first time playing with him on stage, plus we were recording an album live.
Wow.
For, it was called, what was that album called? The live album.
Resurrection or something?
No, it was a live album.
Temptation.
It was a
No,
live
I have-
album. Alex, you're supposed to know all this stuff, man.
Alex supposed to know it. You're the one that played him.
Live from Cabo Wabo, let's call it.
Okay.
And then also it was being taped for VH1 special. So those three things were
like
happening.
Welcome to My Nightmare or something, or what? Cause I remember because I bought
There's
it.
like 4 live albums.
I bought this album thinking that it was a greatest hits studio album because I looked at the track listing. I bought it when I got the call to come and audition. I was like, I've got to familiarize myself with the hits. I'm fast. So I bought this album on iTunes. I was like, wait a second, this is all
What Alex
live.
is going to do is he's going to superimpose the name of the album on underneath.
us
So
all
we'll
listen.
get it.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not going to
Okay.
do that.
I don't want to look that
But
up.
so like I didn't have time to be nervous because we were recording it a live album. We were taping it for VH1, and it was the first time I'd ever had Slash come up on stage with us. Rob Zombie came up on stage, and Sammy Hagar came up.
And Tommy
So-
didn't have time to be intimidated because he was carrying your gear and
It
you were
was
probably yelling
he
at
was
him.
driving the van. I was screaming at other LA drivers.
So
Not-
now, Ryan, who besides Ryan ventures onto the golf course with the Coop?
Chuck.
No one in
Chuck,
this room.
Chuck, who plays bass, and honestly should be on this bed with us, but because his instrument doesn't
He'd be
have
up
2
here
more
going like
strings.
this. Well, guys,
His
no.
instrument had just 2 more strings. He'd be
Yeah.
on this bed as well. So
Yeah.
no, he plays bass, and he also plays golf with Alice and us. So that's sort of our part of our
It's your
routine.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
our routine, and it keeps the rock and roll lifestyle clean living and
Yeah.
good. And what we want. This is a job for us. It's not it's a hell of a job, the best job you can ask for. But at the end of the day, it keeps us in a cool routine and not taking it too far over the edge.
Okay, so now Nita, other than being in Femme Fatale, I don't know if you know this, but
Probably
you worked with the Jacksons as well as Orianthi.
I did know that, yes.
You did know that. Oh. What was that
You think you're gonna
question?
That I,
Yeah, you think
So
you're
now,
gonna stump
this
her?
is
on my own.
On her own career?
I've seen you
Not
2
interviewing
times.
Courtney Love. Come on.
I've
Yeah, I'm
seen
not
you
drunk
play
yet.
2 times, and as far as any similarities between you and Orianthi, she may be a little more classically trained, but I think you're the better stage presence. Do you think that's fair to say? And are you an Ori fan?
You know, I've only ever seen her play live once. I saw her play at the Cliff Cherry benefit, which is a total guitar nerd shred fest. So it wasn't really about the stage performance. Having not seen her, all I can say is I always try to do the best show I can, bring the best energy that I can, and play well, you know, play off each other with the other guys in the band. And that's really what it's all about. I don't really think of myself as competing with Orianthi or competing with Tommy or Ryan. I think of it's all a band. We're a family.
I
It's
just
not
thought
really
we'd
about-
go to the, like, Britney and Christina
No,
Aguilera.
see,
No, it's not like that at all.
Plus-
Plus, honestly, the only similarity between Orianthi and myself is the gender and the blonde hair.
That's exactly
we're
it.
very- we're totally
They're totally
different guitar players.
drastically 2 different guitar players, 2
different
different people,
people.
personalities.
Like, we couldn't
everything,
possibly,
you know?
from
Yeah.
everything I know about her, from what I know about her playing, we could not possibly be more different.
Yeah,
You know, I don't think of
And she
myself
does
as,
wear a skirt on stage.
which I have never done.
Ori's wore a skirt.
Yeah,
But-
she used to wear a skirt, didn't she?
I've never seen her wear a
Not in
skirt
this
ever
band.
in my life.
I
this
think
band.
The fashion expert behind the camera was like, nope.
Yeah.
But
Go
you
back,
know,
maybe
Go
she
back
did.
and watch.
No.
But if you look at the long history of guitar players Alice had in his band, you know, the Red Beach and Dick Wagner, Steve Hunter, and you know Al Pitrelli, like the greatest of the great guitar players have been in this band. So we've all got some great big shoes.
Well, there's
to fill.
and the spectrum. If you look at it, all all the way from Steve Vai, to
Yeah,
Steve
Satriani
Hunter. There's a
yeah.
pretty big spectrum of guys that have played guitar in this band and girls that have played the guitar in this band. So that's the thing. I don't think it's about, like Nita says, it's not so much about gender. It's about the 3 of us coming
Right.
together, making this sound and making the best representation of the songs
Yeah,
with 3
absolutely.
guitars. Because we're also, the way we break up the 3 guitars things is that we're covering a lot of piano parts, string parts.
Yeah, hey Roxy, don't jump ahead of me.
All right.
Let's stop part 1 and go on to part 2. So
How do we do
we're not
that?
Too far over.